Hi, my name is Shinka. Welcome to my channel. We're in the middle of reading and discussing The Warriors Into the Wild. We are still on chapter 5. No, we're actually on chapter 4. I apologize. We're still on chapter 4. Redtail is dead. Learned a little bit more about the clan, how deputies are picked. And then Blue Star just picked her new deputy, which is Lionheart. Firepaw looked at Tiger Claw. He couldn't help noticing the hunger in the big warrior's amber eyes as he stared up at High Rock. Lionheart, meowed Blue Star, will be the new deputy of ThunderClan. Firepaw was curious to see Tiger Claw's reaction, but the dark warrior's face revealed nothing. As he moved to congratulate Lionheart with a nudge so hearty that it almost pushed the golden tabby off balance. Why didn't she make Tiger Claw deputy? Firepaw whispered to Greypaw. Probably because Lionheart has been a warrior longer, so he has a lot more experience, Greypaw murmured back, still looking up at Blue Star. Blue Star spoke again. Redtail was also mentor to young Dustpaw. Since there must be no delay in the training of our apprentices, I shall appoint Dustpaw's new mentor immediately. Darkstripe, you are ready for your first apprentice, so you will continue Dustpaw's training. You had a fine mentor in Tiger Claw, and I expect you to pass on some of the excellent skills you were taught. The tabby warrior swelled with pride as he showed his acceptance with a solemn nod. He strode over to Dustpaw, bent his head, rather awkwardly touched noses with his new apprentice. Dustpaw flicked his tail respectfully, but his eyes were still dull with grief for his lost mentor. Blue Star raised her voice. I shall keep a vigil with Redtail's body tonight before we bury him at sunrise. She jumped down from High Rock and walked over to lie beside Redtail's body once more. Many of the other cats joined her, Dustpaw and Small-Ear among them. Should we sit with them too? Firepaw suggested. He had to admit the idea didn't appeal to him that much. It had been a busy day. He was beginning to feel tired. All he wanted to do was find somewhere warm, dry, curl up and sleep. Greypaw shook his head. No, only those who were closest to Redtail will share his final night. I'll show you where we sleep. The apprentice den is over here. Firepaw followed Greypaw to a thick bush of ferns that lay behind a mossy tree stump. All the apprentices share their fresh kill by their stump, Greypaw told him. How many apprentices are there? Firepaw asked. Not as many as usual. Just me, you, Ravenpaw, Dustpaw, and Sandpaw. As Greypaw and Firepaw settled themselves beside the tree stump, a young she-cat crawled out from beneath the ferns. Her coat was ginger, like Firepaw's, but much paler, with barely visible stripes of darker fur. So here comes the new apprentice, she meowed, narrowing her eyes. Hello, Firepaw mewed. The young cat sniffed rudely. He smells like a kitty pet. Don't tell me I'm going to have to share my nest with that revolting stench. Firepaw felt rather taken aback. Since his fight with Longtail, all the cats had been quite friendly. Maybe they'd just been distracted by Ravenpaw's news, he thought. You'll just have to excuse Sandpaw, apologized Greypaw. I think she must have had a furball stuck somewhere. She's not usually this bad-tempered. Spat Sandpaw crossly. Hold on, youngsters, the deep voice of Whitestorm sounded behind the apprentices. Sandpaw, as my apprentice, I expected you to be a little more welcoming to this newcomer. Sandpaw held up her head and looked defiant. I'm sorry, Whitestorm, she purred, not sounding sorry at all. I just didn't expect to be training with a kitty pet, that's all. I'm sure you'll get used to it, Sandpaw, meowed Whitestorm calmly. Now it's getting late. Training starts early tomorrow. You three should get some sleep. He gave Sandpaw a stern look, and she nodded obediently. As he walked off, she spun around and vanished into the clump of ferns. Sniffing once more, she brushed past Firepaw. With a flick of his tail, Graypaw invited Firepaw to follow him and led the way up to Sandpaw. Inside the sleeping area, the ground was lined with soft moss. The pale moonlight turned everything a delicate shade of green. The air was fragrant with fern scent, warmer than outside. "Where do I sleep?" Firepaw asked. "Anywhere, just as long as it's not near me," snarled Sandpaw, who was prodding some moss with her paw. Graypaw and Firepaw exchanged glances, but said nothing. Firepaw raked together a pile of moss with his claws. When he gathered his bed into a cozy nest, he circled until he was comfortable, settled down. His whole body felt drowsy with contentment. This was his home now. He was a member of ThunderClan. Chapter 5. "Hey, Firepaw, wake up!" Graypaw's mew broke into Firepaw's dream. He had been chasing a squirrel up and up into the topmost branches of a tall oak. "Training begins at sunrise. Dustpaw and Sandpaw are already up," Graypaw added urgently. Firepaw stretched sleepily, then remembered. Today was his first day of training. He leaped to his paws. His drowsiness evaporated as excitement surged through his veins. Graypaw was giving himself a hasty wash. Between licks, he meowed. "I've just spoken to Lionheart. Ravenpaw won't be training with us till his wound is better. He'll probably stay at Spiderleaf Stem for another day or two. Dustpaw and Sandpaw are on hunting duty, so Lionheart thought you and I could train with them in Tiger Claw this morning. We'd better hurry, though," he added. "They'll be waiting." Graypaw led Firepaw quickly through the gorse entrance of the camp and up the side of the rock-strewn valley. As they climbed over the crest of the ravine, a cool breeze ruffled their fur. Fat white clouds raced across the blue sky overhead. Firepaw felt fierce joy well up inside him as he followed Graypaw down a tree-shaped slope and into a sandy hollow. Tiger Claw and Lionheart were indeed waiting, sitting a few tail lengths apart on the sun-warmed sand. "In future, I expect you both to be punctual," growled Tiger Claw. "Don't be so severe, Tiger Claw. It was a busy night last night. I expect they were tired," meowed Lionheart gently. "You have not yet been assigned a mentor, Firepaw," he went on. "For now, Tiger Claw and I will share your training." Firepaw nodded enthusiastically, his tail held high, unable to disguise his delight at having two such great warriors as his mentors. "Come," meowed Tiger Claw impatiently. "Today we are going to show you the edges of our territory so that you know where you will be hunting and what boundaries you need to protect. Graypaw, it won't do you any harm to remind yourself of our clan's outer limits." With that, I'm ending it here today. I do apologize for that. It's a little bit shorter here. They just went to bed and now they're about to start training. A lot of information is going to be coming in, and what I'm trying to do is spread it out a little bit so it's a little bit more even for you guys. My hope is that I get to the end of this book and just have this all on a playlist, and you just go from one video to the next. So, Tiger Claw and Lionheart are sharing Firepaw's training. How do you think Firepaw will do? Do you think he'll do well? Do you think he's going to have trouble? Will it be natural? Let me know. Until then, I hope you've had a good day.